Chapter 6. In the days that followed, Trier visited the kiln every evening in an attempt to glimpse Keng's mystery wine cup after it was fired. Once he even came upon Keng's son at the kiln, removing 5 vessels and loading them onto a cart. Trier pretended admiration to inspect the vessels closely. They were of ordinary celadon, no sign anywhere of the strange little chrysanthemum. By snowmelt, Trier had still not seen it. As he returned one evening from the kiln, he noticed several men and boys congregated about the wine shop. Every night there were a few who stopped by for a drink or two, but tonight there were so many that not all could fit inside. The group seemed excited about something, and one of the boys hailed him. Trier was surprised by the greeting. The other children of Chopo had long spurned him, for orphans were considered very bad luck. Children would step aside when he drew near, and the smaller ones often ducked behind their mother's skirts. Since he had begun working for Min, the other potter's assistants tolerated his presence, but a friendly greeting was still a rarity. It must be important news indeed. Trier, have you heard? A royal emissary comes to Chopo. Trier moved among the clusters of people, learning bits and pieces as he listened. With winter storms over, the sea trade routes were open again. A boat had arrived at Chopo that afternoon. Those aboard carried the news that a royal emissary would be a passenger on another boat sailing to the next moon. The emissary would be bound for Chopo and then the district of Kamjing, the pottery region farther to the south. Chopo, Kamjing. The two destinations could mean only one thing. The royal emissary was on a tour to assign pottery commissions for the palace. The men drank and the boys milled about, all speculating as to how many commissions would be assigned. Nervous, fearful, impassive, serene, whatever the individual's nature, hope shouted from the face of every man, though not one spoke of his desire. Trier saw Keng in a corner of the wine shop, sitting with his legs outstretched and his hands behind his head. Listening, saying little, his eyes half closed and a half smile on his face, Keng looked like nothing so much as a man with a secret. That night, Trier tossed about restlessly away. He and Kramer were living under the bridge again. He stared at the other side of the bridge, rolled onto his stomach. Finally, Kramer. What demon scratches under your skin tonight? He asked crossly. It seems intent on keeping us both from slumber. Trier sat up, pulled his knees close, and wrapped his arms around them for warmth. A question demon, he said. Kramer said. Well, let us hear it then. Perhaps if the question is asked and answered, the demon will leave you in peace, and I will be able to sleep. Trier spoke slowly. It is a question about stealing. He paused, started to speak, stopped again. Finally, is it stealing to take from another something that cannot be held in your hands? Not only a question, but a riddle question. What is this thing that cannot be held? An idea. A way of doing something. A better way than others now use. Yes, a new way, one that could lead to great honor. The grey man lay at hand. He was silent for so long that Trier thought he had fallen asleep. Trier sighed and lay down himself, thinking. Min's work was far superior to Keng's. Everyone in Chopo knew this, and Trier had seen it for himself. Keng's work was skillful enough, his vessels well shaped and his glaze of fine colour, but he lacked patience. Firing, the final step in the process that determined the colour of the celadon, was handled well by no man. Try as the potters might, the wood in the kiln never burned the same way twice. The length of time a vessel was fired, its position in the kiln, the number of other pieces fired with it, even the way the wind blew that day. 1,000 factors could affect the final colour of the glaze. So, when Min made a special piece, he prepared not one, but several, sometimes as many as 10. Identical when they entered the kiln, they would emerge in slightly different colours. If all went well, one or two might glow with the desired translucent green. Others would be duller or less clear. Worst of all, some of the pieces often had brown spots here and there, or even an overall tinge of brown, spoiling the purity of the glaze. No one knew why this happened, so making several identical pieces was the best safeguard to ensure that at least one would fire with unflawed celadon green. Not only was his work slow to begin with, but Min made more replicas than any other potter. King's pieces lacked Min's attention to detail in the making as well as his caution in the firing. The untrained eye might see little difference between the work of the two men, but in Jopol, every eye was trained. And Trier was sure the emissary's eye would be equally sharp. The palace would send only an expert, a true connoisseur, to handle the task of commissioning work. This idea of King's, the use of the red and white slip, could it be of such newness and beauty that it would mean a commission? If that were indeed the case, Trier had no doubt that Min could use the process to far better effect. But Min did not know about it, and therein lived the question deeper. If Trier were to tell Min what he had seen, would that be stealing King's idea? The grey man's voice startled Trier. If a man is keeping an idea to himself, and that idea is taken by stealth or trickery, I say it is stealing. But once a man has revealed his idea to others, it is no longer his alone. It belongs to the world. Trier did not reply. He lay curled on one side, listening as Crane Man's breathing slowed and evened in the rhythm of sleep. An image floated out of the darkness into Trier's mind, that of himself with his eye pressed to the knothole of King's shed. Stealth. He could not yet tell me of King's idea. Trier's activities in the days that followed were no different than they had been for months. Min and the other potters continued throwing pots, incising them with designs, raising, firing, rejecting some vessels, and keeping others. But things felt different to Trier, the smallest of changes here and there. Min no longer sang at the wheel. His wife, normally almost invisible as she went about her household tasks, emerged from the house more often, sometimes to watch her husband at work for a moment, at other times to give him a cup of tea or a rice cake, as he now worked right through the midday mealtime. At the kiln, the potters no longer joked among themselves or smoked idly. Instead, they paced about in restless silence. All went about their work with their faces tighter, as if the news of the emissary's impending visit had pulled the string of village life taut. By unspoken agreement, Trier joined the other potters' assistants one morning in the area between the beach and the village that served as a marketplace. They picked up debris, swept the space clear, and set up planks to display their master's wares. Trier glanced surreptitiously at his colleagues. Many were setting up half a dozen planks or more. For Min, only 2 such planks would be needed. As usual, he would have by far the fewest pieces to display. Min's instructions had been explicit. Trier was to set up the stall so that Min would stand with his back to the sea and his wares before him. The emissary would thus be facing the sea when he inspected Min's work. Though Min did not explain, Trier knew why. It was so the emissary would see how Min's vessels captured the elusive green and blue and grey hues of the waves. The boat docked one evening at sunset. The emissary and his entourage spent the night at the home of the local government official. Trier guessed that if those in the royal party slept that night, they were the only ones in Troupeau who did so. Long before dawn, the market space was lit by dozens of oil lamps as potters and their assistants rushed about in an anxious, eerie silence preparing their stalls.